We're lucky enough to be back today with Louis Pattler, president of the BIT Group, one of the 20 great thought leaders in innovation in the country today, on the reading list for Steve Jobs, New York Times best-selling author. Louis, thanks for coming back.
Thanks very much, pleasure.
Glad to have you. So last time we were talking a little bit about innovation and innovators, and I've kind of alluded to this idea of the surfer metaphor and catching the big wave and how that's relevant to innovation. I'd be interested in hearing more about that.
Well, you know, we've been doing this 20-year-long now project on innovation and innovators, and sometimes the data we got surprised us. And one of the things was that amongst innovators that we tracked and interviewed, metaphors were oftentimes taken literally. Metaphors were treated as facts. So, for example, even today and through this whole 20-year period, business is often described as waves. There's a wave of this and a wave of that, and big waves are coming in and things are changing and so on. So we decided to take the innovator approach, and we did a series of interviews of big wave surfers.
Right.
And these are not the gnarly dude, grease up on the beach surfers. These are the guys and women who go out in 30, 50, 60-foot waves.
Sure.
And we talked to them about, you know, what's the preparation and what's the skills they need and what are the tools in their toolbox. And came up with this set of 10 surfers rules that we call them, and it's part of our training program. So the first surfer rule, for example, is learn to swim.
Right, that's a good place to start.
Duh, as simple as it sounds.
Sure.
Learn to swim.
Sure.
The next one is the waves are in the water.
Right.
So you're not going to get what you need on the beach.
Yeah.
The third one is decide to ride. Once you get out in the water, what are you going to do out there? You're going to boogie board, you're going to swim, you're going to ride in an air mattress, you're going to surf, whatever it is.
And is that kind of the point of get out there and do something?
Absolutely.
Try something, see if it's going to work or not.
Yes. Yeah. And another one of the surface rules to that point is expect to wipe out daily.
Right.
You go into
embrace
surfing,
failure, right?
Embrace failure and recover from it and go back in the face of it.
Makes sense.
And the next wave could be the better wave, the best one.
Sure.
All the way through the 10th surfer rule, which is stay stoked.
Yeah.
And passion and energy is important in any business for anybody, any employee. If you don't have that way to re-energize, I've always not been fond of the term time management. I prefer to talk about energy management. So just like our cell phones wind down, so do people. So we need to recharge our batteries.
Right, so you take this sort of zen of surfing and really realize it's not just an art or a mysticism, it's a very practical, scientific approach to iteration.
Yes.
Which plays to your model of prototype, iterate, and transform.
Yes, if I were to summarize in 3 words the nature of innovation, it is those 3 things in any order. That's what our data showed, which surprised me a bit. Prototyping has been around. People talk about it all the time as part of the innovation process. Doing iterations, tinkering with, messing with, changing around.
Sure.
That's been a part of the process. Transformation is the third way we talk about it, is transformation via simplicity, so simplifying.
Right.
But those 3 elements are found in just about everything we unearthed about innovation, and in no particular order. And prototype, iterate, transformation via simplicity.
And by breaking it down in that simple way, it takes something that's oftentimes viewed as kind of complex and puts it in a framework that people can understand and then begin to act on it.
Hopefully. And you know, innovation, to my mind, is an idea taken to fruition.
Right.
It's an idea that's implemented. And it's not different, therefore, from a problem that gets solved.
Right.
So if you think of innovation as chronic problem solving, I think you make it much more of a democratic ideal and attribute that anybody can avail themselves of.
So there's this assertion, and I'd be really interested in your thoughts, that large companies have neither the cost structure or the agility to be as innovative as they might be. So in order to address that, they can do open innovation where they draw in university researchers or other small organizations that are maybe more nimble and agile. What are your thoughts about that? Is that valid or not?
I think it's valid. Those are 2 tools in the toolbox of a large entity, but that's part of the general large corporate attitude. If you don't have it, you buy it.
Right.
That's good to a point, but the lifespan of what you buy is oftentimes short. So the other ingredient that our data showed is you've got to train your employees, and a much wider band of employees than you might think, in the basics of problem solving and innovation and the skills that go with that.
So this whole idea of talent development, attraction, retention, talent development, the big piece of that is making that part of the culture. Be a constant problem solver, I would guess.
Right.
And reward that as well.
We found in our data a distinction between a company of innovators as separate from a culture of innovation.
Got it.
You need both, but your best bet is to start by building a company of innovators, individual contributors who collectively and cumulatively over time create a culture of innovation. If you only set out to build this abstract notion of a culture of innovation, our data shows it rarely works out that way.
So we got about a minute left. I know you've got some other work coming. Tell us what's in the pipeline for you, to use another surfer metaphor. What's coming down the road in terms of new work that you've got planned?
Well, we're going to just got a new book contract.
Congratulations. That's
so
great.
the actual Surfers Rules that you began this interview with has become the basis of a new book, which will be out in spring of 2016, called Make Your Own Waves.
Do you have to do a lot of surfing in order to make that work?
No, fortunately, because I'm not particularly good myself, but I do understand the mindset that goes with it. So no, but the other parts of it are we're really committed to making available to all organizations, large and small, the ability to train their people in the elements of and the basics of becoming more of an innovator, each and every individual.
Well, we really appreciate what you do. The inspiration that you apply allows the companies and individuals to aspire to really reinvent themselves. So thank you for all of that. We're out of time today, but stay tuned for the remainder of Saturday Morning Meeting for Suppliers.